Now, I haven't talked about the 7-seater Model Y since April, but we finally have some updates for you today because someone just went ahead and asked Elon, hey, I'm waiting on my performance Model Y 7-seater. When do you think deliveries for that will begin? And Elon replied to them early Q4, which would mean around October. So that, I think, is reaffirming to know because it means that that is the most up-to-date knowledge we have of the 7-seater because Elon, of course, is working on the assembly line, helping people hopefully figure out these quality control issues. And between demand, how fast they're able to actually deliver the Model Y, Elon is now thinking Q4 for those official deliveries to begin, which I still don't know how I feel about the 7-seater Model Y. If this was a good move for Tesla, or should they at least update their website? Because in my opinion, the fact that it still says it seats 7 adults is a little bit disingenuous, especially considering how small this third row option is at an additional $3,000, which, by the way, they still don't let you reserve a 7-seater option Model Y on the website right now. So they're not taking any more orders, but before Tesla updated the website earlier this year, once they were ready to start delivering Model Ys, they did actually let you add that at checkout and say, hey, I want my Tesla to be able to sit 7 people. But as you can tell from the unveiling, they didn't even have headrests on these seats. And knowing how the glass on the back of the Model Y swoops down so much, I really think they should change the website to say 5 adults, 2 kids, because I can only imagine how crammed it's going to be back there based on the leaked images we saw of some people getting up close with the 7-seater Model Y. You can't cheat physics. I know Tesla can make miracles happen and stuff like that, but seriously, that 7-seater option does not look comfy at all for anyone in that third row. Granted, yeah, most third row options for SUVs, especially crossovers, are not very comfortable, but let's just say I'm glad it's optional. I'm glad it's not something standard, because if it was, my goodness, I would much rather just pull that third row out and use it for cargo space, because I'm just imagining the leg room for the people who are sitting back there, and it does not look fun at all. And this is kind of a bummer in my opinion, because I think a lot of people were excited for the Model Y for the fact that it was able to replace a lot of the features the Model X had. Obviously, no Falcon doors and no, immense windshield, but at the same time, it was supposed to replicate the functionality without breaking the bank like the Model X does. Just so much more expensive that Model Y was supposed to come in at this entry-level cheaper price point and then still allow 7 people to sit inside. And I've been inside a Model X. It's fairly roomy in there. It's just, I am sure that because the Model Y is physically much smaller, it's not going to be as practical. Or let's just say that the glass roof of the Model Y, that will be your headrest, okay? That's what you're going to be leaning up against. And no, I don't imagine it being uber comfortable, but maybe just enough for people who are short. Obviously, soccer moms, people that are loading these cars up with kids, that's going to make the most amount of sense. So in my opinion, Tesla should either redesign the website and say, yes, the 7-seater is for 5 adults and 2 kids, or they need to do some type of fundamental redesign with the 7-seater option based upon the prototypes we've seen and the unveiling images, because I don't think this is quite going to cut it. And I know some people are thinking it's going to be a rear-facing option like Sandy Munro pitched, having people kind of crawl through the hatchback on the back and face outward. But sadly, the first Model Y car crash was reported and it showed the back of that vehicle. It did not look terribly safe because obviously that part of the vehicle is definitely a crumple zone, and having people sit back there would not be very safe. And I know Tesla cares a lot about safety, though at the same time, you have to wonder, like, is this seat safe at all, forward-facing or rear-facing? Maybe 7-seater just shouldn't be a thing, but now Elon's saying, deliveries of that are starting in early Q4, so I don't know, I feel like there's a chance this could be something they just deliver the ones that ordered it, and then maybe once they catch up on all the people who reserved a Model Y with the 7-seater, they just stop offering that. They're just like, you know what, let's not do any more 7-seaters, and that option just mysteriously disappears. It would probably look bad for Tesla, given that was what it was unveiled to be, was a 7-seater, and we definitely know Tesla doesn't like making their production models worse than the prototypes, but this might be one of those things they didn't quite think all the way through. And honestly, I would totally get it if one day we find out that Tesla has removed the 7-seater option from the website due to it just not being practical enough. It's kind of too expensive to implement, and again, very, very crammed, not very practical back there. So I agree, it'd be kind of sad if they did that, but at this point, I feel like it's justifiable. But the other interesting knowledge we can pull from this date is that, currently on the website, it says the 7-seater option will be available in 2021. And if Elon is saying that deliveries for that will be early Q4, that means website is dated and likely not accurate to what Tesla is actually planning. So there's a little bit of speculation I can do on this part, but in my opinion, if the website is saying the 7-seater Model Ys will be available in 2021, but Elon is saying they'll start deliveries in early Q4, what could that mean for standard range Model Y? Does that mean it could also start coming out in early Q4, even though the website website says it won't be available until 2021? Maybe. I think there's a decent chance, given we've seen some comments from people saying that they ordered their Model Y like on June 2nd, and then they're taking delivery on June 25th. That's a little over 3 weeks from order to delivery for this brand new car that's just now hitting city streets. Again, hopefully prioritizing quality control this time around, but still, if Tesla is able to catch up on deliveries like within 3 to 4 weeks now, imagine how they're going to be able to catch up a few months from now. I have a feeling that maybe because of the pandemic and less demand, because less people are spending tons of money on cars right now, that may have allowed Tesla to momentarily catch up on orders very, very quickly, and now they might have a temporary demand problem. I think in the long term, over the course of years, the Model Y is still going to sell great. It's still a very practical, relatively affordable car for the market it's serving, and I think it's going to sell like crazy at Giga Berlin and Giga Shanghai, all in good time. But I think in the short term, as in like the rest of 2020, they may not be getting as many orders as they are actually producing at the factory, and I think that might push them to release standard range a little early, or at least allow reservations for the standard range Model Y, which again is rumored to start at around $41,000. I could be wrong on that, but that's what it says on the Model Y sticker sheet. So very curious to hear what you guys think. Would you get a 7-seater Model Y, or do you think this was a bad idea from the get-go? Feel free to hit me up over on Twitter, join my Discord, and we can chat more about it there. Thank you all for watching. Hope you have an excellent rest of your day. Take care.